This is Ray. And this is Andy.
And this is FDS Local Sports.
How's it going, Ray?
It's going very good. I see you got a new hat, Andy.
Beauty, huh?
Where'd you get the hat?
I found the new Mount A bookstore. It's changed location since I went to school there, Ray, but I eventually found it. It was conveniently located below the bar.
Below the bar?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Just down the stairs from there.
And you partaked in the atmosphere of the bar on Saturday?
We were in there for a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, shout out to the St. John Wanderers guys, Coach Jowdry and team. We had a good time in the bar around the fourth quarter there, and then we realized we were missing an exciting game.
Yeah.
So we ran back it.
Well, we'll get into that game in a few minutes.
Let's do it.
But first, let's kick off with game one of the AUS season. All right?
Let's do it.
This was Friday night. St. FX at St. Mary's University.
Yep.
This was a big ball game. I mean, right off the bat, these two teams were, there's a little bit of sour milk between those two teams, if you will, because St. FX wanted to be in that Loney Bowl last year. But St. Mary's got to represent. They got in, and this was a tight ball game throughout the entire game, Andy.
Yep.
A few points were scored here and there, but it was tight from start to finish.
Okay, yeah, I heard a lot of field goals, and we'll get into that.
But, a lot of field goals, but we'll get into that in a second. Let me tell you about this. Late in the fourth quarter, X is up 13-10.
Yep.
Okay? And Brian Hope from St. Mary's comes out to kick a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
He kicks a field goal, makes it.
Yep.
It's now 13-13.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Our good friends in the black and white throw a flag for illegal substitution.
That's killer.
Too many players on the field. You can't do that.
Yep.
Guess what? St. Mary's got a first down on that play, and then star quarterback Caleb Scott came back onto the field, drove his team downfield, and then ran. He punched the ball into the end zone to take the lead in this game, 17-13.
17-13, yeah. And then Mr. Hope tacked on another field goal to make it 20-13 final.
20-13 was your final in this game as St. Mary's wins their home opener.
That's a killer, Ray. Have you ever thrown a flag like that?
Absolutely. I called that penalty in X one time, not against X, against the opponents though.
Got it. Okay.
It is always a tough penalty though. It's a tough penalty.
Yep.
Let's talk about some of the players in this game.
Yes,
okay?
Please.
Quarterback Bailey Wasdale from St. FX. He goes 15 for 23, 181 yards. Doesn't throw a touchdown, but no interceptions.
Okay.
Our buddy, the running back there. You love this guy. Right. Why don't you say his name, Andy?
Oh my goodness, that is Jordan Sokolchuk.
Sokolchuk. No, not bad.
Sokolchuk.
You did better than I did last week. I think you're right on there.
Oh, I could guarantee I did better than you would.
He goes for 16 rushes, 39 yards, puts a touchdown on the board. Good for him. Here's a receiver that I haven't talked too much about in the past, but Greg McDonald. Greg McDonald had 4 catches, 91 yards. And defense, I told you that X has a great defense year in, year out.
Yeah.
Well, this guy led their defense on the weekend, and his name is Gordon White. 6 solos, 7 assists for a total of 9.5 tackles.
Wow.
So he had a great game.
Killed it. You know why, Ray? Because it's White with a Y.
There you go. White with a Y. You can't be White with a Y.
Can't do it.
Over to SMU.
Yep.
Caleb Scott. Okay. Now, this guy, not only can he throw the ball, but he can pass the ball or run the ball.
Yeah.
And he goes 18 for 28, 208 yards passing. And then he rushes 76 yards with a touchdown.
Yeah, and I understand why he resorted to the run because he threw 3 picks in this game. So good on him. Good on him to overcome that and take advantage of that foul, that mess up, and charge down the field and run it in. That's how he's an overcomer. Caleb Scott.
He is.
Yep.
Now they have a new rookie running back this year. His name is Jonathan Simonkinda.
Yeah.
How'd I do with that one, Andy?
That's how I would have said it, I think.
Simonkinda. This kid gets 21 attempts in his first year as a Huskies running back.
Nice.
Puts up 105 yards.
Big game.
Good for him. Wide receiver Liam O'Brien. He gets 5 catches, 68 yards. And we were just talking about Brian Hope, This guy had a clutch week.
Yeah.
Goes 4 for 6 on field goals.
He added a convert and a rouge as well, Ray, for a 14-point game.
That's it.
Yep. That's the kind of game you win some awards for. Spoiler alert.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Spoiler alert.
I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
All right. Now, not only am I not 100% sure that you're saying his last name right, but it's close, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Who is Bailey Wasdell?
Bailey Wasdell. Well, he's the new quarterback for St. FDS. This kid comes from Calgary, okay?
Yep.
Now, after he was done high school, he went on and played in the Junior Football League out west.
Okay.
And he played for a team called the Calgary Colts. And in 2017, he finished the regular season with a 61.3 passing completion for 1,400 plus yards. He had 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He obviously is quite a good quarterback if Coach Waterman recruited this kid to come to X and play.
Yep.
And he played his first game. They were very competitive in this game. They could have won this game.
Yep.
So we'll be keeping an eye on Bailey as this season progresses in the AUS.
100%. Yep.
There you go. That's
right.
your wrap-up for St. FDS at St. Mary's.
All right. What do we got next, Ray? I think both of us were in attendance in a very different way at this next game when we got Bishops visiting Mount A.
Bishops was visiting Mount A. I had a pretty good seat for this game.
You did have a good seat.
I had a pretty good seat for this game.
Yeah.
Listen, this was a great day for football.
Oh man, it was nice out.
Compared to my previous Saturday of reffing football, this Saturday, you know, it's probably going to be the best day of the year as far as reffing a football game goes.
It was a great day to be there too, just watching. I'll tell you that.
It was Mount A's home opener. Now, the students weren't back into school yet, but I have to say it was a pretty good crowd for their home opener.
Pretty good despite that, yeah.
Sackville can always pack in a good crowd.
Sure.
Now, let's talk about these offenses to start out this game. This was a pretty tough game to watch from the stands and on the field. Both offenses came out very conservative and played very hesitant, if you will.
Yep.
And at one point, I thought halftime was going to end 2-0 for the Gators on 2 Rouges.
We were pretty sure it was going to as well. You know, I'm not going to read you any of the texts that I was sending to a few people during that first half, but Ray, I was not impressed with what I was seeing at all. I couldn't believe the difference between the Mounties in the home opener this year and the Mounties in the home opener last year. I don't know. You were reffing that game as well, so you probably remember. I was shocked in the first half. So
yeah, it was tough. But Trey Downton made a beautiful pass to Chris Reed, who made a one-handed grab.
Oh, that was a great play.
Almost OBJ-ish.
Yeah.
Grabs his pass and takes it 15 yards into the end zone, taking the lead into half 7-2 for the Mounties.
I got to tell you, Chris Reed, you know, it's plays like that make it tough to watch a Mounties game live because there's no replay, man.
There's no replay.
I mean, I watched it happen and I wanted to see it again. So thank goodness there's that AUS website that we can go streaming on after the fact, but I want to see the replay right there.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a great play.
Wow.
Now, Andy, I got to ask you this question. After that first half where there was only 9 points on offense for both teams.
Yeah.
If I was to tell you prior to the second half that 49 points would be scored in the second half, would you have believed it?
No.
No, I don't think anybody would. No. But 49 points were scored in that second half. It was pretty exciting second half, and the Gators got it started.
Yeah.
When quarterback Matthew Demers led his team 72 yards downfield and then introduced a little trickery.
Yes.
He threw a lateral pass over to Stephen Casey, who then faked like he was going to run, but pulled up and threw the ball 32 yards downfield to a receiver called Roberto Jimenez.
And Roberto was wide open.
Wide open.
Wide open.
And it was right on my sideline and even made me have to deke a little bit to get to the end zone to call the touchdown.
And he can move, guys. He can move.
He was quick. Yeah. But that was a trickery touchdown, and that's how the second half opened.
Yeah, that was when we saw that, and I believe I was in the bar at that point. By the way, Mounties, come on, get some speakers in the bar, so we can hear what's going on outside. The place is soundproof.
Really?
But, yeah, pretty much. So, but yeah, we remember seeing it. We couldn't believe it but they completely bid on that play.
Yeah,
bid on that play. So yeah.
Do you remember in the preseason I was telling you about number 12 for the Mounties, that quarterback, Graham Kelly, that came into play?
He's like 7 feet tall. At least he appears 7 feet tall amongst the rest of the Mounties players.
He's a big boy.
Big guy. And
he is the punter for the Mounties.
He is.
So right off the bat, when I see this kid come out and punt, I'm always thinking, keep your eyes open. Anything can happen on this play.
Of course.
And at one point, anything did happen as the Mounties were 3rd and about 9, and they ran a fake punt, and Graham Kelly took that ball, threw it down right along the sideline to a kid named Nate Rosetek, which set up a first down for them. And from there, Chris Reed had another rushing touchdown at this point.
No surprise there.
And that's how scoring got going for the Mounties in the second half.
Yep.
In the fourth quarter, the Mounties took over.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a wide receiver, number 19, Malik Richard, who is a wide receiver for the Mounties. Yeah. This guy took over in the fourth quarter.
The entire first half, I kept saying, listen, this guy is electric, and they're not even throwing to him. When are they going to throw to Malik Richard?
Yeah.
And finally they started doing it, and boy, did it pay off.
Well, Troy Downton made a beautiful pass to him, hit him in the end zone for a touchdown, and then later in the game, he rushed in a touchdown of his own as well.
Yep, absolutely.
So there you go. Let's talk about Bishops real quick. Matthew Demare, 23 for 33, 267 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Good game for this kid.
Mm-hmm.
He played really well in the second half. They have a running back there. His name is Keith Normandin.
Yep.
He had 11 attempts for 50 yards. And then remember that wide receiver we talked about in our preseason edition?
Mm-hmm.
6 catches, 100 yards.
Nice.
This kid will put up numbers this year. We'll keep an eye on him.
Bishops look like a really competitive team in the first half, and when the Mounties kind of took over in the fourth quarter, I mean, the play fell off a little bit, but they're competitive. Like they can play.
They're going to watch out for them in their year 2 of the AUS season.
Their quarterback is good.
This team's going to be in there this year. They're going to be in contention. Mount A, Troy Downton, 18 for 26, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He had a great game. Chris Reed, 21 attempts, 109 yards for a touchdown. Chris Reed's he looks mid-season form.
Yep.
Again, we talked about Malik, 78 yards catching and a touchdown. I want to talk about this kid because this kid that I'm about to talk about here, wide receiver for the Mounties this year, believe he's wearing number 2.
Number 2.
And that is Aiden O'Neill.
Yep.
Formerly of Tantramar High School.
Yes, sir.
Formerly of Pee Wee Titans.
Yep.
Okay. I've been involved with this kid since he started at a young age playing football. Now I'm watching him play at the university level. This is his second year of eligibility in the AUS, and I'm telling you, it was great to see him involved in both the offense, but more importantly, special teams. He returned six punt returns for 64 yards. This kid's an exciting football player.
Let's not forget, Aiden is the son of head coach of Tantramar Titans, Scott O'Neill.
Yeah.
Who I touched base with and had a little chat with before the game, and also got to chat with him after the game. Huge smile after the game.
Yeah.
Prior to the game, he was having a good time, but you could tell he was amped up.
He was
amped up
focused,
to see it.
ready to go.
Yeah, and I thought Aiden was exceptional out there, running the ball on offense, like you say, and also special teams. Now his day started a little bit with, and again, I don't know anything about returning punts or anything, Ray, but Jeannie and I were reestablishing ourselves over at the stands because we were trying to follow you from side to side of the field.
Yeah.
And we were actually walking behind the end zone when Aiden let a punt drop instead of charging forward to catch it, which I thought he had time to do, and ended up conceding the first point of the game on that Rouge.
Right.
So I thought, he's gonna feel bad about that one again. What do I know about returning punts? But anyways, that was the last mark on his day, even if it was whether it was a legitimate one or not. He was electric out there. We were calling his name nonstop. It was a fun game to watch.
Yeah. Great job. Anyways, congratulations to the Mounties.
And can I just chime in? Because it's not only the offense that scores points here. So let's not forget about Skylar LeBlanc, who had a 52-yard pick six late in the game. That was absolutely exciting. That was the dagger for sure, if there wasn't already one dealt. He had 4.5 tackles as well.
There you go. Great job. All right, so next up in the AUS schedule, this Friday, August 31st, which happens to be somebody's birthday. We'll figure that off camera.
Didn't we already celebrate your birthday, Ray? I mean, you celebrate your birthday. And all right,
I have birthday month, Andy. Birthday month. But
Doesn't
this
surprise
Friday
me.
coming up, Acadia is at St. FX. So here we go. This is going to be a great game this Friday night. Acadia is back in action. And yours truly will be up at Acadia this weekend.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. On Saturday, St. Mary's Huskies is traveling off to Bishops, and Mount A has your Week 2 bye.
Week 2 bye. So that's your Week 2 lineup, guys. Before we completely close the book on Week 1, let the AUS release their players of the game. We're going to be repeating, or players of the week, sorry.
Yeah.
We're going to be repeating some names here. The defensive player of the week was Skylar LeBlanc, who I just threw in there. He was great for the Mounties again. Not just that pick six, though that's definitely a big one. He was all over the place out there, 4.5 tackles as well. Offensive player of the week, also from the Mounties, running back Chris Reed. That was a no-brainer as well. And then the special teams player of the week.
I hope it's Brian Hope.
Your hopes have been answered.
Yes.
Brian Hope with his 14-point game, 4 for 6, I believe, from field goals, a convert, and a rouge. When you get that rouge, that seals the deal.
There you go.
Seals the deal.
That's your AUS, guys. Don't forget that you can tune into the AUS through AUS Television. You can find that through Google. Search it on your PC, or you can watch it on there's an Atlantic University Sports app through Google as well.
Just Google stream AUS football, and you'll trip over the website where you can watch these games.
We have a little sneak peek for you tonight, folks. At 9 o'clock tonight, we're going to be having an interview live in our studio.
Yeah.
With our, with a celebrity from the MFL, if you will. And that is, we're going to the Comfort Zone.
No, the Comfort Zone is coming here.
The Comfort Zone's coming here.
Right.
Dan Comfort's going to be in studio tonight for a live interview.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking to him about his days with the Mounties, his days as the Mustangs quarterback. We're also going to talk about his new venture, so stay tuned for more information on what Dan Comfort's up to these days.
The reigning MFL quarterback of the year coming here to the locker room for tonight only. The locker room becomes the Comfort Zone.
The Comfort Zone. There you go, folks. That's your local sports for the week, everybody.
Catch you next one.
See you next week.